Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of Wise the Dome TV. Today, man, I have a very, very special guest, one of the illest MCs to ever do it, a part of the dopest hip hop collective ever assembled, the Byzantine King himself, Killah Priest. Appreciate you for coming through.
Man, peace, brother. Peace for having me, man.
No,
Peace.
no doubt.
Peace and salutations.
No,
Word.
no doubt, God, no doubt. So, I want to kind of start from the beginning a little bit and then work our way to the present. You know what I'm saying? And so I know you probably told this story a million times, but what was like, how did you meet Rizza and Genius, like whenever you were first coming up?
Oh man, I was like their little brother, man. Like just like my older brother, being in Brooklyn. And he brought RZA around and RZA would battle all the MCs. I had a
Mhm,
group called Cooler Three MCs.
mhm,
And was consist of me, my man Jazzy T, and Master D. I always remember this. And so we thought we was good. So Jizzle used to diss us a lot,
mhm,
and he used to be like, "Yo, man, I'm bring my cousin around just to show y'all what it is." And it was RZA.
mhm,
So he brought RZA through, and we battled. We didn't come out successful, and then you know, we had to straighten up our skills and stuff like that. So I took it very hard from there, but we go all the way back to then, man. I was
mhm.
like 12 years old, just a teen, like mid teenager.
No doubt, no doubt. And so whenever you saw the clan forming and we all know the story, you've talked about it a lot, about mystery of chess boxing and all of that, but when you saw the clan forming, like, did you have an idea that, like, it was going to be this big? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I knew it would be something different. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it was something different, and I knew the caliber of MCs we had in the chambers.
Hmm.
So behind the scenes, it's like, oh man, we got this, and it was like at this all the logo. Shout out to Master uh, to um to Master Killer. Shout out to DJ Mathematics.
Hmm.
He the one that first showed me his graphics of the W. So,
Mm,
but everybody formulating it took everybody helping together. So
right.
it was like a whole bunch of us, man. And I just remember every golden moment, and that was it. And
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, because like in like I believe it's like one of the joints on 36 Chambers where RZA is just shouting out everybody that we didn't know necessarily then, but we got to know later. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that just kind of goes to show that, like, a lot of y'all was there from the beginning, not just later on. You know what I mean?
And when RZA says, so the name that I chose then was Lord Messiah.
Mm,
So when he goes, Lord Messiah, he's talking about Killah Priest, because Killah Priest didn't come about to after
mm,
that. So Killah Priest came during the Gravediggers era. That's when I came with my name, because it was to haunt, just to be like something crazy
yeah.
during that, because we was gonna go the Oracle route.
Nah, that shit's, man. I mean, that's perfect. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like, especially with like the topics that you cover, ramen. You know what I'm saying? Heavy mental. Man, I think most people consider that a classic, a classic album, not just a classic in the Wu-Tang canon, but a classic album. Period. I still see people quoting that album today, right? Um, can you share, like, what was the, like, inspiration and creative process behind that album? And because that album stands the test of time, people still listen to that joint today and get jewels that they probably didn't get in 98 when it came out. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I will have to shout out Fourth Disciple
Mm,
and Kim, also True Master, who I both work with now. But it started with me and Fourth Disciple.
mm,
So it was a process because um the label. at the time didn't even know how to market me. You know
Mm,
what I mean?
right.
I was just just slap the W on there,
Mhm.
slap the W on there. Shout out to Wendy Goldstein. You know what I'm saying? But slap the W on there and just let it go. But it's a process. I never ever made an album before, so it was my first time.
Mhm.
So I don't know if Fourth did, but I don't think so for either. But he just had more experience in the studio than me. I didn't have that much studio, so it was just like, oh man, because you making beats. So here we go, man. We in a big, you know, $1,000 an hour studio,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
even care. And the first couple of joints we did, we didn't kind of know where we was going at it, and then it started relaxing, going into having. I started going into my real songs and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Bible was already out. It was
Yeah.
on Scissor's album. I
Mhm.
didn't understand the concept. I just thought, okay, you got to put it back on your. I would have never did that. I would have did another song
Mhm.
like Bible, but something different. But I didn't know. Word.
So putting Bible on Liquid Swords, uh, did that kind of throw off like what you were going to choose to be a single type thing, or do you feel like that kind of also prepared the world to hear, the Killah Priest heavy metal album?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I thank Joseph for that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Never, I never my million years thought that somebody would throw my entire song on there.
Hmm.
That was just love right there. But that was just respect for lyricism
Yeah.
back then, and the respect for lyricism. So um, yeah, so I was just like, okay, boom. So I would have. There's a lot of mistakes that I would make it that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I matured in. I
Hmm.
would have never put it back on heavy mental.
Hmm.
Looking back at it now, I would have just did something else that would have motivated me to do something. I don't know, maybe even iller.
Right.
Word,
You know, I think we all got stories of the first time we probably listened to the album and then the heavy metal song came on, right? Because I remember, man, you went out of this world, like figuratively and literally, man. Like,
Mm.
how did that joint come about? Because that to this day is one of I would say this highest level of lyricism somebody could reach.
Man, thank you so much for that, man. That heavy mental was the rhyme that I had, right?
Hmm.
So, you know, Cool Keith and cats like that, I wanted to just take it to another level or whatever. So that was a rhyme I had. That
Mm.
one particularly, I lost the original one.
Mm.
Lost the
Oh
original
wow.
because I was saying it to my man P Sun Chronicle
Hmm.
and I said it to Jackpot, who's known as Scotty Waddy.
Hmm.
And so I lost it. So when I was on my way to the studio, I wrote that out of vengeance. Like I had to get it
Mm.
as close as I could. I mean, there's parts in there,
Hmm.
but I had to get it close as I could to the original version. That was it.
Yeah.
Word. And
Yeah.
that's how that one came about.
Damn,
Word.
that's crazy. So you lost the original joint.
Yeah, the original Heavy Mental
Yeah.
is still in the ocean over
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
near the ferry.
Wow, that's crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, also too, all right, so you were on two joints in 98 as far as your solo and a part of the uh Sons of Man group, which is legendary in itself. Shout out to Sons of Man and Killer Army. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like both of those groups played a big part in obviously the Wu-Tang canon and furthering, because it's like, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you read comic books and stuff growing up. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang has become like the Marvel universe, right? Where it's like different cats got different abilities. People have their different favorites, right? And you had Killer Army, who was, with the military knowledge itself. You had y'all with it was street, it was esoteric knowledge itself. It was like, but it was dope, right? And like I said, it added on perfectly. But if you can, like, kind of build with us about, how Sons of Man formed and how that first album came to be.
Man, it was a beautiful thing. It was me. It started out with Shabazz Disciple. He was
Hmm.
he was involved,
Hmm.
and so it was a bunch of us. We used to just be in the studio, man, after the session. So Shabazz brought in Razor and Ambassador. Y'all don't even know
Hmm.
about. Ambassador, man, he's like a hidden gem. So
Mm,
Ambassador, Razor, and then 60 Sec was always there because he's Old Dirty Bastard
hmm
cousin,
hmm
and we used to just rock out. Then Prodigal Son came in through with me. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? So it's like, so that's how that started. And then we used to always just rhyme
mm,
together at a session. So, me and we sat there on the stoop one day. It was just like, yo, it was me and Prodigal was just coming up with names and stuff like that. Certain names I wanted to choose for myself.
hmm
And then, we just were like, yo, let's do a group. I always felt like, oh man, it'd be crazy because it was an MC thing
Right,
or an
right.
MC thing,
hmm
and that's how it started.
No doubt, no doubt. Speaking of that Sons of Man album, Old Dirty was on it, right? And you were on the Snakes album, but you knew, I mean, the Snake song from Dirty's first solo. Um, but Old Dirty is a figure that obviously is beloved through hip hop circles for what he represented. Um, the spontaneity, the mixed with the knowledge itself, with the wild dude. But you knew him personally. You know what I'm saying? For those who didn't have the pleasure of being around Asan Unique, what was he like?
Oh man, he was golden. He was just a
Mm,
golden brother. He knew his lessons. He loved knowledge. He loved life. He was a person that really loved life, man. And he wasn't scared to do anything, man. He was just, when we was talking about, secret societies and that, he went all out. He just
mm,
went all out.
mhm.
Being Shinnecock and letting us know about the land and being indigenous and all of that stuff like that. He always stood up for that for a very long time. You know what I mean?
hmm
So he was just all about his his grandmother's land. He was about his knowledge and his wisdom and understanding and about his lessons. And on top of that, he was just full of he was just his flows was unorthodox,
Right,
It's
right,
incredible.
right. No doubt, no doubt. Um, did you have any, influences and inspirations like that people that you kind of looked up to as far as, their pen game and people that inspired you to, make music and be one of the best rhymers to your ability?
Yes, definitely. It was Rakim, Big Daddy
Mm,
Kane, Slick Rick. I came up under Coochie Rap, and I came up under listening to when
mm,
they were dropping stuff in 87, 88.
mhm.
And you know, um, I was just like, man, they amazing. So that's all the guys that I like. With Karis one, so
Absolutely. Did you peep the new Rakim joint with Corrupt and Master Killer?
yeah,
Yeah, that joint's
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah,
MK,
no doubt.
MK came up for that, yo.
No doubt. I'm
MK.
gonna get that's one of my
Also,
others that I gotta have. I'm gonna get him on one day too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting that in the universe.
a lot of people tell me that. A lot of
Yeah.
people tell me that,
y- Yeah.
But I like the way MK showcases his assassin technique with
Mhm.
knowledge.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He got one of the illest styles. It's underrated in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because a lot of and the way he incorporates the lessons in his bars, like yeah, man, he's one of my unsung favorites. Um, I once saw an interview with you. It's an old interview from back in the day. You were on the block and dude had a camera and he's building and he just interviewing just regular interview style, and you had a book in your hand, and he was asking you what you was reading, and you was telling him, what I'm saying, but it was like a everyday type of vibe, what I'm saying. You was just outside New York City, going wherever you was going, you had the book with you. But some of my favorite MCs, from you, Nas, Tupac, they all they always talked about reading and how reading was a part of their life. And posthumously you see uh they Tupac's reading lists show up on different websites, and Nas talks about how whenever he was young, he was reading everything in his mother and father's bookshelf. And you know what I'm saying? How important was reading, you know, just not even just on some hip hop shit, but just, Killah Priest understanding the world.
Back then, there was no YouTube,
Yeah, yeah.
so when you're not in school and you just out there on your time, it's like it was priceless to get books that no one heard of
Hmm.
and hearing mysteries that no one even talked about.
Hmm.
And it was like you started learning your true history and identity. It's like even lessons was handed to me on just regular paper,
Right,
written down.
right,
So
right.
it was no cell phones. It was no way to keep a memo sheet. We had to remember a lot of things.
Hmm.
So it was like we had to write it down, keep it in our memory, and I think it was cherished more because it
Yeah.
wasn't so available above that. So it became a part of us. And I think, it's just like the way of the monk. When you go into the forest, you go into the forest to meditate. There's nothing around you but trees and stuff.
Mm.
And I guess you kind of like embrace life more when
Yeah,
you're in there. So we didn't have anything. When there's nothing around, you gotta just soak it in.
absolutely. And I kind of want to elaborate on that a little bit. The idea, like, we're living in a world where technology is everywhere. Everything is fighting for our senses, right? Everything is fighting for our attention. Um,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that, there was no YouTube. Like, you either had to go to the bookstore, or to go to the library, or build with people that knew what you wanted to know. The fact, like you said, you got lessons written on paper. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The fact that nowadays everything can be found, like, at the touch of a button. Do you really feel like the respect for knowledge and information has kind of dwindled a little bit because it's not as hard to get as it once was, with now, everything being available 24/7?
Yes,
Mm.
definitely, man. It's funny you said that. A ghost, shout out to Ghostface. He just sent me something where this lady was breaking down, with the computers, how fast things come. And when you learn it, she said between 1 and 5, when you learn it, your brain is in this learning process
Hmm.
really quick.
Hmm.
So if you hand your child a cell phone, you know, he's seeing pixels and it's moving really, really fast and things like that. And so he's learning at a super fast pace.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when it gets into real life and it gets into a line at a convenience store and you see the line starts to slow down, I was like, whoa, that's
Hmm.
kind of crazy.
Right.
He catches the pitfall out.
Yeah, it gets
It's the
impatient, right?
process. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes too much too fast can desensitize you
Mm.
and kind of put you out of there's a reason why you got to see a girl and you don't see her when you're young
Mm.
for a guy and girls for guys. And
Right,
it gets your imagination start to go, I wonder what's about. And that's a part of growing. But
right.
when you get just pics go on a picture and say, oh, dang, she's a Leo, her
Yeah.
favorite color is red,
Yeah.
everything, how to show up and desensitizing and kind of slow down the process.
Right.
Uh,
The-
but that's technology, yo.
Absolutely. Like, you've spit bars about it. Like, but do you feel like stuff like meditation can, like, kind of offset that? You know what I'm saying? That feeling of always being impatient, or feeling like, yo, I can't sit still type of thing.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, man. Yes,
Mm.
exactly. Sometimes nature is the best way to return. Like take a trip, take a walk. I always say if you take a walk just around, no matter, or go through a park or take a drive or however it's good to be by yourself and just enjoy the world because it'll bring you back.
Mm.
Because you can just eat a fruit. Once you start eating a fruit or something, it's like languages of the universe. Whatever information's in that fruit that day,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It's going to start communicating with your cells and give you a kind of, you'll start thinking a little bit different because you say, man, what I'm chewing is life. And what I'm looking at around me, the information that you get right there is the information that the universe wanted to give you at
Mm,
that moment, and it's all in there. And then you give it back to the universe. So it's a fair exchange. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
and then there go your jewels. Whatever you feel that day, you start feeling better and start thinking a thing that it holds in nature.
No doubt, no doubt. Like you said in that one joint, I see mystical messages and raindrops. You know what I'm saying? Like being
Right.
be-
Wow.
being able to kind of slow things down, man. Turn the music down. You know, like not the music as in, I mean, just the noise of life sometimes, right? To be able to go for a hike or something and get your mind right, like all of that is important. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people be so on the go sometimes we forget that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fast food. Everything's
Hmm.
fast.
Hmm.
Fast food, fast food, then fast life,
Right.
and then it's before you know it, it's like, oh man, you just eased up, or you just mentally. I'm
Right.
just saying, it doesn't have to be physical, it can be mentally, and you're not thinking right. But when you come back to your nature, oh my God,
Mm. Yeah.
man,
You
the
feel
world
you
gotta watch out.
you feel
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you feel energized, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You we talked a little bit earlier off camera about, I was telling you as far as my influences in knowledge itself and how music played a part as far as introducing me to certain concepts that I didn't know before. And obviously heavy mental was a part of that. But when we talk about the power in music, right? I'm pretty sure, in your career, you've had plenty of people come and tell you, like, yo, like this song here, or this album here, it kind of helped me with my thinking. Like it made me see things from a different angle. After I listened to this, I started reading books, that kind of thing. Like when we think about the power of music, like how powerful is music as like a conduit to express thoughts and ideas to the people.
It's everything. It's so powerful as water itself.
Mm,
That's necessity of it. Music is just like water flowing. It's
mm,
just like the sunlight is in everything. We even call ourselves. We even say that we have skin tones. The
mm,
word tone is harmony. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So everything that we did, I did that on I did that on Mr. Universe. I got a song
mm,
about how music, other spheres, and how the music goes on, not the one in psychic world, but yeah, how music is expressed through everything. So within that music, it make you feel good.
mm,
So the vibration is like, let's just drop seeds in it and see it grow, because music is gonna bring it out.
mm. Absolutely, absolutely. I remember when Psychic World of Walter Reed dropped, right?
Mm.
That's one of my definitely one of my favorite albums, double album, no skips. But it felt like, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it felt like a renewal of your energy. You know how the lessons talk about we renew our history every 25,000 years. That
Yeah, yeah,
album felt like a renewal of Killah Priest, right? And from then to now, you've been like extremely consistent with dropping dope albums. Uh, the fans obviously have spoken and support these joints and but that album there, like what was the mind state in creating that? Because I feel like that led us to where we are now with Killah Priest music.
yo, man. I'm gonna tell you, making that album
Mhm.
was crazy because nobody really saw my vision. I was doing
Mm,
that in Cal. I was doing that in North Cal,
mhm,
and between Stockton and L.A. and a little bit parts of New York. So
mhm,
I was
mhm,
going back and forth, man. That was like my organic, real independent. I really wanted to do it the way I wanted to do it.
mhm,
And it came out through so much because I had to be going to studios, and it was like, yo, Priest,
mhm.
not the night, not the day.
Right.
And also it's done in my crib also. I was
Nice. Mhm,
staying in Manhattan Beach at that time. So my boy would come up, man, Callisto, and we would just go through it.
Mhm.
It's something when you're struggling. My man Callisto was going through something.
Mhm.
He just gave me some beats. He's like, yo, man, me and my
Yeah.
man, well, that's how. So it was like a lot of fabric to it, a
Mm.
lot of fabric to it. So that's why it came out like that. And it came out, I was like, I'm not taking nothing off. This is going to be my first double album, and I'm
Yeah.
keeping it like that.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, man. The fans glad you did. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, that joint is like a movie. And then right
Thank you.
after that, I think Planet of the Gods came out,
Man,
and
the God. Yeah.
so that one was crazy because like you took us on like a it's like a movie on Sumerian mythology, right? Like what was the monster like what made you decide to even do that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of my favorite joints of yours as well.
Thank you, my brother. I started getting into Sumerian mythology, and I started getting into this Sumer.
Mm.
Right? I started dabbling into certain tablets that they tell you don't supposed to be in
Yeah.
the people of color.
Hmm.
Like we can't go up there and deal with it. So being the people of color is like they made all the books. So at the time, I'll start my first book being a musical book and
Mm.
start talking about it wasn't about ancient aliens, nothing to
Hmm.
do with that. Is I started looking at Zachariah Stitcher,
Hmm.
who's been debunked now, but there's other Sumerian guys out there. So it started with that.
Hmm. No doubt, no
So
doubt.
it was like York. It was like, the Dr. Malachi York. He was talking about some of this stuff way, way above time. But I just went back and renewed it in the way I seen it.
Right, right, right. Now that's a dope album, man. That's a dope album. When you look at like one of the videos for that uh Walter Reed album was Wing People, and um it
Yeah.
was an animation joint. And then
Mhm.
lately you've been doing a lot of those, and I feel like they're dope because you're able to kind of tell a story through it that you might not be able to like in a live action video, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like who's the cat that's doing the animation, and what kind of how'd you get that idea?
All right. The guy who's doing that his name is Dave Flores, one of the
Shout out to
dopest
Dave Flores
cartoonists.
because he killing
Yeah.
it.
He's part of the royal priesthood. So I got this group that call the royal priesthood. So we got like a network of
Mhm.
things going. I got photographers, video people, and so I'm putting together this whole thing with my podcast. And everybody, each one just come through. So he started doing all the animation. So
Mm,
I just said, "Yo, man, let's start. We got something in the workers right now, man. A L cartoon.
mm.
I'm starting to go to the series of cartoons and just making a real life cartoon for the people. My bad.
Nah, that's
Word.
dope. That's dope. That's dope. Also one of the producers that obviously uh fourth definitely lace you up with dope beats. But I wanted to kind of yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's my brother right there. We got something coming.
Oh,
Uh,
dope, dope, dope. And also like the joints that you and Jordan Riverbanks.
oh,
Um
forget
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you can talk about him and y'all chemistry, like as far as making music.
Man, me and Jordan River it's like the water in the temple.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we always come with some holy stuff. When he hit me, he always hit me with a slew of stuff. He knows he feels the right time.
Hmm.
And then I just be like, man, let's just go, man. And we just do the master, of the universe. And we don't have a title, don't start like that.
Hmm.
We just go. I got some stuff on the grill with him and the whole God's wrath. So,
Mm.
they from out there. And
Hmm.
Jordan River is one of the God's wrath.
Okay.
There's three of them. And so we just started working together more tight because it was just like that. But I also worked with Black Marvel
Hmm.
and Snipe Bark. Those guys are incredible also. So they came together on Second World
No,
and
yeah, they laced that soundscape, man.
yeah, the offering.
Hmm.
But a new cat, but he's not new that I'm working with is Purpose.
Mm. Okay.
So Purpose y'all gonna see, man, with this
Yeah.
new album.
All right.
He also did a lot of stuff during time. He was also featured on Psychic World too.
No doubt, no doubt. You're also a part of another super group, the Four Horsemen. The Horsemen, you, Razcast, Cannabis, and Corrupt. Um, I always appreciated that group because Dog Pound and Wu-Tang is like my favorite. It's like my favorite groups. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like to see elements of that come together was dope. But how did that come to? How did that come together? You know, because I know like even though y'all, I think there was an underground album early or something that leaked maybe, but now y'all got an album that's on DSPs as well. But like, how did that originally come together? Because throughout the years, you would see Razcast on your joint, or you on Razcast and Corrupt on Cannabis and with you on there. Like like it seems like y'all been working, y'all stay doing features with each other. So how did it come together in the beginning?
Um, Cannabis, you know
Mm,
what I mean? He
mm-hmm,
told me about it, but then me and Razcash, we got real tight.
mm-hmm,
Me and Razcash are like twins, you know what I mean?
mm,
So we always hanging out, and that's my brother right there. It's hard for me. I don't say that about anybody. And then
right.
Corrupt came in, and that was it, man. Corrupt came, made it. Yo, shout out to Corrupt. That's my brother right there too. Him and Raz and Cannabis, and we just linked up, man. Somebody booked the studio. I don't know where it was.
Mm-hmm,
It's I got the call. Come down. Came to the
mm-hmm.
studio. They was all in there. It was funny,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
A lot of stuff. And beats were being played. I
Uh-huh.
was told just go in 8 bars or
Mhm.
just bar out, and
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. You also got the Podcraft. If for all the fans watching, if you don't know, Killah Priest has a podcast called the Podcraft. It's on his channel. It'll be linked in the description. It's dope, man, where they vibe out. They talk about, all different types of topics from esoteric knowledge to what's happening in the world to music. I mean, and it's a dope vibe, man. It's something that you could, you know, have on and just vibe out with them. But what made you start the Podcraft? And since you've started it, do you feel like it's kind of opened up a new like fan base for you and a new fan base and new network of people for you?
Definitely,
Right.
definitely. I never knew it was gonna be like this, man. What when I first started, it was during COVID.
Hmm.
Nobody was doing anything, and so I started an album and Rocket to Nebula.
Mm.
I just started
Yeah.
writing right there, man.
Hmm.
I said, forget this. I couldn't get most of the producers. I couldn't get to nobody. Nobody was doing it. So I decided to start working on beats myself and start doing everything
Mm.
myself.
Hmm.
And so under alias names and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and certain beats that I did have from somebody, but nah, man, it was very, very to the heart and organic.
Mm.
No one probably heard me in a while. Everybody felt like the world was going to, you know how the world was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I decided, nah, I'm gonna stand up and put out some music, man.
Mm.
There's still some love out there.
Hmm.
Hip hop is real. And
Hmm.
then on top of that, I said, let's start a podcast. So I started getting motivated. Everybody was down.
Yeah.
I told my man AD, who's the
Hmm.
engineer of the podcast,
Hmm.
so let's start a podcast. It was a pod. I was gonna start a
Mm.
podcast
Hmm.
first. And I told the idea to Rizza and Jizza. They was like, yo, I ran about Ghostface.
Hmm.
And he's supposed to be, nobody knows this, but I reveal it. He's supposed to be with me. He
Hmm.
said, yo, you set it off. I'm going to come through. That's why he come through sometime, word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went off and I'm known as a go-getter. I just go out. So I went out and get thinking about it. I just went and started it. And then when we first started, we was happy to get 10 people listening.
Mm. Right.
We were
Right.
talking, man.
Right.
And
Right.
then I remember us going, yo, 15 people came in. Yo.
Yeah. You know what I saw? There's something funny about that. I saw something. Somebody posted something yesterday. There was like, man. So what? You got like 12, only 12 people watching you on Twitch. He was like, in real life, that's 12 people that's interested in what you got to say and sitting down and kicking it with you. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word.
You know, and so it's just the perspective. But as we continue to do these
Real
things,
talk.
obviously it grows. You know what I mean? I think like with the podcast, I know like y'all created like a little ritual eventually with like drinking tea. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the science behind that, and as far as where that comes from, and like what does it symbolize to you?
Well, we started this thing called being a teacher, right?
Mm,
So it's tea and chai is a play on the word tea,
mm,
and chai
mm,
is tea in Chinese.
mm,
So I'm a teacher, and so you know, I came on. I taught my son. He started getting ill
mm.
with it. Tea, we tea experts, man.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
started going to tea ceremonies,
Mm,
and then I'm talking about my other son,
mm.
Z, and so we became tea experts, and then we tried to get AD on it. He's coffeeed out.
Yeah, yeah.
So so we started going to tea ceremonies, and we started to go just do all these things, and I felt like yo that'd be a good segue. Now
Hmm.
that came from AD. AD is a very see, a lot of people don't understand the continent. I don't do everything. AD does stuff,
Hmm.
and he adds a lot to it because he
Mm.
knows the media like that.
Right, right.
So me is all new. So he said, "Yo, Priest, let's do a T segment," and I was like, "Hey, that's no problem." But T used to just get me mellow, and we could really just sit back. So, girls would call me, Priest, I like the vibe. I like the
Yeah,
vibe. So it became a vibe. Like, yeah, you had a tea ceremony. But we're gonna get back to that.
right,
Lately,
right.
we've been speeding. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, y'all definitely got to get back to that, man. You know, like, I had somebody had put me on. Like, I didn't know much about teas, till till recently. Somebody had put me on about the difference between like tea, like process that comes in a bag, and like the
Garbage. Yeah,
yeah,
garbage.
yeah, it's garbage, right?
Yeah. You can take
Yeah.
one of the leaves when you see a real tea leaf, right?
Mhm.
You can take that and crumble that up. And that's the stuff that they put inside of the what's the name? The dust from that is what they put in those tea bags, man.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
always this poor quality and
Mhm.
Lipton, they don't care about the people and really conscious. Now we got the chance to take control of your own life.
Mhm.
Destiny, drink some real tea, get some loose tea, and just see how you feel when you start getting into it. You got different varieties like white tea. And it's not just because it's white, it's just young.
Mm.
So so you got oolong, you got black tea, which
Mhm.
is black is strong.
Do you got a
So,
favorite right now?
uh Yeah, where's my favorite? Um, I would say my favorite would be Badu. It's called Baduma.
Mm.
What is it, Salo? Baduma.
Mm.
It's a white tea. It's an aged white tea. That's my favorite.
Dope.
And it's give you a little psychedelic feeling, but it's
Mhm.
just tea, but it stops there. It's
Yeah.
like you get a nice chill buzz, but it's aged, so it's got all soak up all that information. So I like that one. Yeah.
Yo, I know Ghostface got the coffee. Are we gonna see Killer Priest teas like coming soon, or what?
Definitely, definitely. Well, I started. I had the mantra going. We
Hmm.
sold out. We didn't re up on it, but we're going to re up on it in a few minutes.
Hmm.
So I had the mantra, and we sold out of that, and so we're just going to re up on it. It's going to be a different name,
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I had a partnership with that. So we're gonna, yeah, you definitely gonna see us in there with the
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah, we got to. I'll definitely support, man. I know.
Soon it'll be a tea lounge too. We're gonna do a tea lounge.
Oh, word out there in the West Coast.
I don't know where I'm gonna put it,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
most likely, yeah.
What was I gonna say? I know. You and Ghost are tight, and I remember reading an interview with him one day. It's been a while back, and he said, "Man, eventually he wants to do a spiritual album with Killah Priest." Uh, is that something that you see happening one of these days?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I can see that.
Mhm.
I can see that happen, man. But we can't wait too long. It
Right,
starts, you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
But I can definitely see that. What we do, we build all the time.
Hmm.
And the brother of faith is immaculate. It's grown,
Hmm.
you know, and Ghost been searching for a very long time, man. He been renewing his history. Now he's
Hmm.
an Orthodox. He's real into the Muslim and Islam,
Hmm.
and he's real about it. You know, so he's going out there to Mecca, touching the stone, and anything we do, we get into. But I like the way he explains it. The
Yeah.
way he explained it, you can see it clearly. You know.
Mm. Oh, absolutely. You can kind of hear it through his music too. He'll drop things in there like, what I'm
Yeah,
saying, to let you know. On your I know like we're getting in a time now where physicals, people are getting, vinyls again, and people are getting CDs again, even cassette tapes. And For those that don't know, I had a link as well. Priest got a lot of his joints on vinyl and CD. I'm not sure if you got any cassettes, but a lot of joints on vinyl and CD. The link is in the description. Make sure you go support that. But why you think we are seeing a resurgence in physical copies nowadays?
oh man, because of Europe.
Okay.
They kept it real. They kept it
Hmm.
100. So they held us to a music. And I think, what goes up, must come down. What comes down comes back around again. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
way it all began.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so it's just, it's reached, you know, I got to go back to its essence.
Yeah.
And I think the sound quality you can't really get till you get on a vinyl. The
Facts.
sound quality from a vinyl is the essence of what it sounded like.
Hmm.
Jukeboxing made because that's where music started. You know.
Yep. And I think one thing too is just remember like when we was young, we get a vinyl or a CD, we can look at the credits, we can look at the
Yeah,
artwork, like it's a whole
yeah,
music listening experience that a lot
right,
of the youth don't have
right.
because it goes straight to the phone and then they press play. You know what I'm saying? But Killer Priest, I want to ask you one last thing. For one, again, I appreciate you for coming through. It's been an honor and a
Mhm.
pleasure to build with you, God.
Peace,
What
Lord.
what can as far as new music, what I'm saying, coming out, what can the fans expect from Killer Priest moving forward?
Oh man, man, I have two albums coming out. I have one coming out called Abraxas Rebus.
Mm.
Abraxas
What's that?
Okay, Abraxas Rebus
Mhm.
Simha Aroma. And look it up.
All right.
Repis.
All right.
So Abraxas is like the ancient word for abracadabra. You can go and
Mm. Hmm.
look at what is it. It's esoteric,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So
I'm gonna do the
I
knowledge.
dropped a leak called the Path.
Mm.
So it's on YouTube now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can check that out. The cover and stuff like that, and then being Fourth Disciple. So that album, Abraxas, is done solely by a brother Purpose from Tragic Allies. Shout
Mm.
out to him. And Fourth Disciple. And I also want to tell everybody, Don't Sit on the Speaker. That right there is a classic from me and Fourth
Oh
Disciple.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all
We
took
need to
it back to the
re-put that
essence
out
on
of
that
our.
one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's my favorite album. One of my favorite albums
Word.
right there. Yeah.
All
Mm,
right. Well, Killer Priest, man,
yeah.
everybody make sure y'all tune into the podcast. Make sure y'all
Yeah.
go buy some physicals.
Mondays
Support one
and
of the,
Wednesdays.
yeah. Yeah. Again, tell them again what time?
Mondays and Wednesdays Pacific at 5 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah. And they're
Uh,
long too, so you get to just sit back and chill and
yeah,
relax, you know what I'm saying, while you,
yeah,
just vibe out with the cast, man. You know what I'm saying? So again, everybody support one of the legends in the game. He's doing it big still. There's no fall off in what the God does, man. So peace.
peace, Lord. Yeah, thank